Hi guys, it's Miss Natasha from the Quincy Public Library. I am so excited to be with you today because we have some special guests. I know if you're like me, you see dogs everywhere and you want to pet dogs. And here in the Tri-States, we have 3 very special types of dogs you may see. What kind of dogs are there? They're service dogs, therapy dogs, and guide dogs. The dogs don't look anything alike, as you can see. They come in different sizes, different breeds, but they all do the same thing. They help people. I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna ask some questions with our experts here so we can learn more about these special dogs. Okay, Amaya Smith here in the middle. Maya, raise your hand. She is here with her service dog, Zeppelin, who is an Australian Shepherd. Amaya, just what is a service dog?
A service dog is a dog that is specifically trained to help with a disability.
So what sort of things is a service dog trained to do?
They can alert a deaf person to sounds such as a smoke alarm going off. They can help someone with a wheelchair retrieve items that they have dropped, or if they just need medicine. And they can also help someone who has invisible disabilities such as seizures or low blood sugar. They can alert to those.
And this is a question I know a lot of people ask. Can service dogs go anywhere their owners go?
As long as it is considered a public space, yes.
Can a business like a store or a restaurant ask someone with a service dog what their disability is or why they have the service dog?
There are 2 questions that are covered under the ADA, and that is this a service dog, and what is this service dog trained to do?
And the ADA is the Americans with Disability Act,
Yep.
right? Yep. Okay. And service dogs help their owners. Therapy dogs help people. Tess Rowley, raise your hand, Tess. She is here with her therapy dog, Bowser, a golden retriever. What makes a therapy dog different from a service dog?
So a therapy dog's job is just to make people feel better. The owner themselves don't need any kind of help from their dog.
And how does a therapy dog make people feel better?
So by just being there. There's been scientific evidence showing that a dog can help when you're upset and calm them down. It can help lower blood pressure. So just being around a pet can definitely help.
I know when I see dogs, I get really happy. So I get that, yeah. So, and this is a really important question, I think. Are therapy dogs allowed to go everywhere a service dog can?
No, so they're much different from other dogs. They can only go where they're invited to volunteer to help comfort or cheer up people.
Okay. So what are some of the places that therapy dogs are used?
So hospitals and nursing homes are frequently visited by therapy dogs, and they help with the patients and the residents at those places. Schools are starting to use therapy dogs to help with anxiety around exam time.
All right, and then also today we have Susan East and her dog Deacon. Susan used to train guide dogs. Is Deacon a guide dog?
No, he's just here because he's a Labrador Retriever, which is the most popular breed used for guide dog training. Golden Retrievers and German Shepherds are also used, and even some crossbreeds like Labradoodles are used.
Yeah, I think he knows what we're talking about. Look how happy and alert he is. He's like, hey, it's my turn. All right, and what does a guide dog do?
Guide dogs help people who are blind or visually impaired move safely through a world that they can't see.
And when a guide dog and its owner are walking around Quincy, how does the guide dog know that it's safe to cross the street? I mean, they don't train them to read traffic signals, right?
No, guide dogs cannot read traffic signals. What happens is the blind person decides when to cross the street and tells the dog to go. But if there is a car coming, the guide dog knows that it can refuse to move.
So guide dogs know they can refuse an order or
yes,
refuse to obey.
It's called selective disobedience, and it's one of the most amazing things about guide dogs. They learn that they can refuse any command that would put their blind person in danger.
Okay. And so I know we talked about this because you just get in the habit from years ago saying a CNI dog, and there is a difference between a CNI dog and a guide dog. Or what's the difference, I should say?
Right, they're not the same. Guide dog is the correct term to use for any dog that leads the blind. Seeing Eye is like a brand or a trade name. It's the name of one of the many organizations that train guide dogs.
Guide dogs. Yeah. Kind of like how I call tissues Kleenex, no matter what brand I use.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, okay. And then can any dog be a service dog or a therapy dog or a guide dog?
No. Size and temperament is carefully selected throughout the process of figuring out what the dog is going to do and who they're going to be with.
So is size important when it comes to the job that a dog would do?
Both small and large dogs can be service and guide dogs, or therapy dogs, I'm sorry. Larger breeds like Labradors, Golden Retrievers, German Shepherds are particularly more suited for being a working guide dog.
And then what should people do when they see one of these dogs? Like, what's the etiquette when you see a dog out that is working?
The best thing you can do is nothing. Don't assume. Sometimes the dogs might be working, and if you interrupt it, you could have been interrupting the dog, assisting its owner with a medical emergency.
Yeah. And I really think that's probably general etiquette anyway with any dog, right? Just not to run up and pet the dog, you know. I always try to, I always ask if I can pet the dog. I sometimes forget and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So can you pat one of the therapy dogs? Is there ever a time that you can pat a service dog or a guide dog or a...
Yeah, so sometimes you can go ahead and pet them, but you never want to just run up to the dogs. You want to walk up slowly, and you also want to ask for permission, especially with guide dogs, because they could be in the middle of assisting their owner, and you could be interrupting that process. So, and don't be offended if they say no, because sometimes they're in the middle of training or they're in the middle of doing their job, and the owner doesn't want you to interrupt that.
Right, and that's very important. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming today. As you see, we learned a lot of useful information about service dogs, guide dogs, therapy dogs. I know I learned some stuff today. If you guys learned something today, put it in the comments. Oh, he saw someone walking outside, so being protective there. Write in the comments what you learned today. I would like to see if anyone learned something and what you liked about it. Again, it's very important that you don't interrupt or distract them when you see them on the street. Don't go up and pet them at the store, walking down the street, or even here at the library, because those dogs are working and we don't want to get in the way of their work. Their owner's life may depend on it. If you guys want to know more about dog training, the Quincy Kennel Club has a new dog and puppy training class next Tuesday, October 6th, to get more information from the Quincy Kennel Club website or the Facebook pages. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I want to point out to the kiddos that we do have books here at the library. I'm going to zoom in, go down. Oh, look at those beautiful dogs. So these books here along the front are actually books that you can check out at the library that tell you a little bit more about the dogs. Well, thank you so much for being here today, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.